Prince Harry and his team accused of conspiracy, fraud and dishonesty. Prince Harry returned to London for privacy trial. Prince Harry was back in London on Monday, sitting in the UK's highest court to take part in the third and final of his outstanding legal battles against Britain's tabloid newspapers. If you found this report insightful, take a moment to reflect on how celebrity culture shapes health trends and why responsible conversation matters. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more in-depth coverage that goes beyond the headlines and keeps you informed as these stories continue to unfold. Share this video, leave your thoughts in the comments section. The courtroom fell into stunned silence as Prince Harry appeared to stagger, then collapse, moments after a verdict was read that few inside the room expected to hear so bluntly. What had begun as another tense day in his long-running UK privacy trial suddenly became a moment that would reverberate far beyond the walls of the High Court, raising questions not only about the outcome of the case, but about the future of the Duke of Sussex's legal strategy and public credibility. According to observers present in court, the atmosphere shifted almost instantly when the judge began delivering the ruling. Prince Harry, seated beside his legal team, listened intently as the court addressed key findings related to his claims against sections of the British press. This case, centered on alleged unlawful information gathering and privacy violations, had been framed by Harry's team as a fight not just for personal justice, but for accountability in British media culture. However, the court's language quickly signaled that the judgment would not align with the narrative his camp had promoted. The verdict, as read aloud, did not simply dismiss certain claims. It went further, outlining what the judge described as serious inconsistencies, unsupported allegations, and troubling gaps in evidence. Most damaging of all were references to what the court characterized as potential coordination issues within Prince Harry's legal submissions. The ruling stated that elements of the case raised concerns of dishonesty and possible misrepresentation, not only in how evidence was presented, but in how claims were constructed and advanced. As these words were spoken, witnesses say Prince Harry visibly reacted. His posture changed, his face drained of color, and within moments, he appeared unable to remain upright. Court officials and medical staff moved quickly, and proceedings were briefly halted. While no official medical diagnosis was immediately released, sources described the incident as a collapse brought on by shock and extreme emotional distress. The legal implications of the ruling are significant. The court emphasized that while public figures are entitled to privacy, the burden of proof in such cases is high, especially when accusations involve criminal behavior by others. In this instance, the judge ruled that Prince Harry's team failed to meet that burden on multiple counts. The judgment highlighted what it called a pattern of speculative claims presented as fact, and evidence that did not withstand scrutiny under cross-examination. Most striking was the court's reference to possible conspiracy and fraud concerns. While the ruling stopped short of issuing criminal findings, it explicitly noted that the manner in which certain allegations were coordinated and presented could warrant further examination. Legal analysts following the case stressed that such language is rare in civil privacy trials and signals deep judicial frustration. Prince Harry's legal team strongly rejected the characterization, insisting that their client acted in good faith and relied on information provided by advisors and investigators. In a brief statement following the adjournment, a spokesperson said the Duke was deeply affected by the outcome and was considering all legal options, including potential appeals. They emphasized that the case was never about personal gain, but about exposing what they describe as systemic wrongdoing. However, critics argue that the ruling undermines years of public claims made by Prince Harry about his treatment by the press. Since stepping back from royal duties, he has positioned himself as a whistleblower figure, willing to challenge powerful institutions. This verdict, they say, casts doubt on that image and raises uncomfortable questions about whether personal grievance may have overtaken legal reality. Inside the courtroom, the reaction from opposing counsel was restrained but unmistakable. Lawyers representing the media organizations named in the suit appeared vindicated, noting that the judgment confirmed their long-standing argument that the claims were exaggerated and unsupported. They pointed to the court's findings as proof that press scrutiny, while sometimes uncomfortable, does not automatically equate to illegality. The collapse itself quickly became a focal point of media attention. Supporters of Prince Harry described it as a human moment, evidence of the immense pressure he has been under for years. They argued that relentless public criticism, family estrangement, and repeated legal battles have taken a severe toll on his mental and physical health. To them, the incident was not a sign of guilt or failure, but of a man pushed to his limits. Others were less sympathetic, viewing the moment as emblematic of a strategy that has relied heavily on dramatic claims without sufficient evidence. They noted that the court's ruling was based on legal standards, not emotion, and that collapsing in court does not change the substance of the judgment. In their view, the episode risks further damaging Prince Harry's credibility rather than restoring it. Beyond the immediate drama, the verdict may have broader consequences. Legal experts suggest it could influence other cases brought by public figures against the press, reinforcing the importance of concrete evidence over narrative-driven litigation. It may also affect Prince Harry's willingness to pursue similar actions in the future, given the personal and reputational cost now on display. There are also questions about how this ruling might impact his public projects, including media deals and advocacy work centered on transparency and truth. Partners and audiences may now scrutinize his claims more closely, aware that a UK court has formally challenged the reliability of aspects of his testimony. As proceedings resumed after the medical interruption, the judge concluded by reiterating that the court's role is not to assess personal pain, but to evaluate facts. The ruling made clear that sympathy cannot replace evidence, and that high-profile status does not lower the threshold for legal accountability. It was a sobering reminder that even global figures are bound by the same standards as any other claimant. Prince Harry left the courthouse later that day without addressing the press. His legal team confirmed that he was medically assessed and would recover, but offered no timeline for next steps. The silence only added to speculation about how deeply the verdict has shaken his confidence and whether this marks a turning point in his long-running battle with the British establishment. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is certain. The image of Prince Harry collapsing in court will linger, symbolizing a moment when a deeply personal crusade collided head-on with the unforgiving clarity of a legal judgment.